So in this reading, you're going to be reading about what life was like in the 1980s. So a lot of you might be able to talk to your parents, maybe aunts and uncles, grandparents, and learn about what their life was in the 1980s. One thing that I like to describe it as a materialistic world. You have Madonna's Material Girl, right? Because I was living in a material world. And so it really is where it comes, where all of a sudden it's what things can we have? Also, this was the birth of MTV. How many of you guys still watch that? We had cable TV, you had ESPN, Nickelodeon, and then of course CNN. Let's bring in some news in there as well. So all of a sudden you're seeing, ooh, this girl has this, and they have that, and I want, I want, I want. And it really changed our American households. We have rock and roll really gets in there. The song I Love Rock and Roll, Put Another Dime in the Jukebox Baby. This is kind of that time of these hard rock kind of going. The VCR allowed Americans to record television and watch it on their own schedule. What a novel idea! And now we just set a recording. I have YouTube TV and it just automatically records it on my DVR, or um, I can just go to the CBS All Access, right? But you have whatever you need. But then it was kind of a big deal. They started in the 1980s having personal computers, and Apple in 1977. So all of a sudden people are starting to get computers. It doesn't take real effect till the 90s. Right now it's still kind of too big. You have Silicon Valley, which is still huge today, obviously. Here, we don't need this ad. And then greed is good. Isn't that great? What they had. And then, of course, drugs and all the things. Um, drugs become to be a huge part of the world. And so First Lady Nancy Reagan came and this is when she started her Just Say No to Drugs. This became a really powerful program. I know I had to take DARE. I think probably most of you did as well, of this whole Just Say No. But this is also a time where AIDS becomes known. We didn't know what it was for a long time, and they started getting a name finally. Um, and we still didn't understand everything, but it is a deadly disease that it's commonly spread through sexual contact, sharing needles with anything with blood or bodily functions can spread that. And so this is when we start doing a lot of research and learning about it. Okay, so this is just some of the things that happened in the 1980s. So you can see a huge change in America, and a lot of those changes that happened in 1980 are still part of our lives today. If you look over here on the side, they're talking about the N64 starts to make its appearance. I think it's later though, because I had it when I was 8, so I'm going to say the 80s. Before PlayStation in N64, there was Atari. I'm sorry, I didn't read it all the way through. Atari hits. Go ask people about Atari. Some of the famous movies: 16 Candles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club. These are movies that are still famous today, and they really were big, big, big in the 80s. Creepy, weird movies came out that I don't know if you ever watched some of these movies from the 80s and it's like they are weird. But yeah, so this is the 1980s in a nutshell. Please read through this and let me know if you have any questions.